What's up, guys? I'm Brandon.
I'm John.
We are Altered State Comics from St. Louis, Missouri. Today, another episode of Because Comics. This week's episode, we're doing crossover events and tie-ins. John, tell me a little bit about this.
So crossover events are typically done 2 or 3 times a year with your different publishers where they are going to launch new storylines in miniseries that tie into all of their books. So we think of some big ones like Civil War or Crisis on Infinite Earths. So for today, we're going to use Civil War as an example because thanks to the MCU, I think we're all pretty familiar with how that story goes.
Thanks, Kevin Feige.
So what makes it a tie-in or a crossover event is that during, say, with Civil War, for the 7 months that miniseries was being published, a bunch of other titles that Marvel was publishing featured a little Civil War logo on them, and that meant that the stories being told there tied in to the larger Civil War story. So for example, Amazing Spider-Man. For that run of issues of Amazing Spider-Man, while it wasn't written by the same people that wrote the Civil War storyline, it tied into that story. So if you wanted the complete picture, you had to read them all. That said, the Civil War storyline stands on its own in those 7 issues too. So it's always kind of an interesting train of thought when you start reading an event. If you want to just read the main storyline, if you want to read the main storyline and the tie-ins to get that extra context, or if you want to kind of pick and choose for what's interesting for you. When you go into your local comic shop and look at the new release section and look for your favorite title, but it has a little different look, a little different logo, that means it's probably a tie-in. So for example, again, looking at Civil War, if I was reading Amazing Spider-Man at that time, I come in my shop, I'm looking for Amazing Spider-Man 534, but all of a sudden, it's got this Civil War logo on it also. So that's telling me it's going to cross over with the main Civil War storyline. And this happens all over the place with a ton of different publishers. I know we were using that as the example, but say with DC, they recently did a Fear State crossover. So here you have your main storyline of Batman, it's got its Fear State logo on it. Harley Quinn is giving you the same thing. With Star Wars, Crimson Reign is currently their big crossover. So my Star Wars book has my Crimson Reign logo at the top. Same with Darth Vader. Same with the actual Crimson Reign storyline. So I know it can get a little bit confusing and a little overwhelming when you're looking at those new releases and trying to figure out what stories what and what all this means. You can always ask your local shop owner and they'll be happy to clarify for you what's the main storyline and what are the tie-ins. And when in doubt, just pick something up that you think looks cool and maybe you'll find that you want to dive into that event a little bit more because these publishers are doing them every year, oftentimes a few times a year.
As always, he's been John.
He's been Brandon.
We've been Altered State Comics, St. Louis, Missouri. Please like and subscribe.
If you have an idea for a topic you want us to cover in another episode of Because Comics, please comment below and we would love to make a video for you.